Close your eyes for a second. Imagine total darkness. Not a chink of light anywhere. Cold steel walls so close they're practically pressing on your skin. Your own breathing echoes, too loud, like someone else is shut in with you. Heart hammering your ribs so hard it hurts. No mobile. No keys. No trainers. Just the sharp tang of rust, old engine oil, and your fear getting stronger. This isn't some made-up creepypasta for clicks. This is what really happened to Ellie, 26. Graphic designer who spent her days tweaking logos and dreaming of her own little studio one day. Tiny one-bed flat on the 3rd floor of an old Victorian conversion in Manchester. Morning brew with way too much sugar. Easy laugh that made people warm to her straight away. Fiancé Jamie, tall, quiet type, always knew the right thing to say. He'd proposed 3 weeks earlier under a flickering streetlight in the northern quarter with a simple silver ring he'd saved 6 months for. She said yes. Life felt sorted. Normal. Comfortably predictable. Until one Friday night the rain decided to ruin everything. Ellie stayed late at the office. Client needed changes by Monday. Everyone else had cleared off hours ago. The building felt dead, lights dimmed to night mode, corridors silent apart from the low drone of the aircon. She saved the file, shut her laptop, grabbed her bag, pulled her hood up against the storm, and headed to the back car park. Rain absolutely chucking it down. Puddles everywhere, reflecting knackered streetlights that buzzed and flickered like they were on their last legs. Her little blue Fiesta sat all alone under a dying bulb. She got closer and saw the front left tire, proper flat. Air gone. Rim almost kissing the tarmac. She muttered a quiet bollocks. Rain soaked her trainers in seconds. She popped the boot. Spare wheel was there, but the jack was missing. She'd lent it to her brother months back and never got it returned. Mobile on 6%. She tried ringing the AA anyway. Signal rubbish. Call cut out. That's when the white transit van rolled in. Slow. Headlights slicing through the rain. Parked wonky, taking 2 bays. Side door already slid open a crack. A bloke stepped out. Tall. Broad. Hood up, face mostly in shadow. Voice calm, almost matey, like he did this sort of thing regularly. All right. Looks like your tires had it. Ellie glanced down. Yeah. Flat. She forced a thin smile. Yeah. Cheers. I'll sort it. Rain kept hammering. Wind shoved icy water down her neck. Fingers already numb. He didn't walk off. Just stood there getting drenched too. I've got a jack in the back. Won't take more than 10 minutes. Come on, you're soaked through. Every warning she'd ever heard screamed in her head. Don't get in vans with strangers. Don't take help from blokes alone at night. But her hands were shaking. Phone dead now. Rain felt never-ending. And he sounded normal. She paused 3 long seconds. Then nodded. All right. Thanks. That choice shattered everything. He moved quicker than she expected. One arm clamped round her waist. Other hand pressed a cloth over her mouth and nose. Sweet chemical stench flooded her lungs, chloroform or something like it. She kicked hard. Twisted. Nails raked his arm. He grunted but held tight. Legs gave way. Vision swam. Colors bled into black. When she came round, everything was wrong. Cheek against freezing metal floor, so cold it stung. Walls steel, grey, scratched. Ceiling low, she couldn't stand straight without hunching. No windows. No inside handles. Just rivets and welds. A shipping container. The sort you see stacked at ports or left rusting in old industrial estates. She pushed up. Head spun. Stomach flipped. Wrists red raw, someone had dragged her by them. Trainers gone. Socks filthy and wet. Coat still on but zip torn halfway. She crawled to where the doors should be. Pushed. Nothing budged. Outside, the clank of a padlock chain rattled from her effort. Hello. Voice cracked, tiny. Anyone there? Silence. Thick. Heavy. She thumped both fists on the metal. Sound rang dull, echoed back like it was taking the piss. Again. And again. Knuckles split. Blood trickled warm down her fingers. She kept going till her arms shook and she had to stop. She slid down the wall till she sat on the icy floor. Pulled knees to chest. Tried slow breaths. In through nose. Out through mouth. Panic still rose like bile. In the far corner a little battery lantern gave off weak yellow light. Next to it, one plastic bottle of water, half full. 2 wrapped protein bars. A metal bucket with lid for the loo, she realized with a sick lurch. And a single sheet of white paper taped to the wall with silver duct tape. Hands trembling so much she nearly ripped it, she peeled it off. Black marker. Neat handwriting. 3 days. Be good. I'll let you out. Don't scream, no one hears. Save water. You'll need every drop. 3 days. The words sank in like ice. She stared at the supplies. Looked round the container again. About 20 feet long, 8 wide, 9 high at most. Empty except what he'd left. Floor had a couple of loose metal strapping bands in one corner. Old cargo bits, edges sharp enough to cut if you pressed. She opened the water. Sniffed. No odor. Took the tiniest sip. Held it before swallowing. It tasted like survival. Then the tears came. Quiet at first. Just wet tracks on her cheeks. Then proper sobs, loud, ugly, bouncing off the steel and coming back louder. She cried for her mum who still rang every Sunday to check she was eating properly. For her little brother who sent daft memes at stupid o'clock. For Jamie who was probably ringing round everyone right now, voice cracking, asking if anyone had seen her. She cried for herself. For being the sort who trusted a stranger in the rain because she was cold and knackered. Hours crawled. Or minutes. No way to tell. No clock. No daylight. Lantern dimmed, she switched it off to save battery. Darkness swallowed her. She lay on the hard floor. Curled tight. Listened to her heartbeat. Thump thump. Thump thump. Counted them till uneasy sleep took her. Dreams came in bits. Open sky. Warm sun. Then hands, strong hands, dragging her down into thick black mud. She woke gasping, throat raw, head pounding. Day 1, she decided to call it. She stood. Legs wobbly. Walked end to end, touching every seam, every weld, hunting for weakness. Found only solid steel. Back in the corner she ate a quarter of a protein bar. Chewed ages. Tasted like cardboard and glue but she forced it down. Thoughts looped. Who was he? Why exactly 3 days? What did he want? His voice replayed. Calm. Almost kind. And familiar. Like someone she'd heard loads of times. Not a stranger. Someone closer. She shoved the thought away. Too horrifying. Instead she pictured Jamie. His shy grin when she took the piss. How he always made her a cuppa when cramps hit. How he whispered forever like he meant it. He'd find her. Police. Friends. Family. Someone would notice. She whispered his name into the black like a prayer. Jamie. Nothing answered except a faint drip, maybe condensation down the wall. She flicked the lantern on lowest. Examined the loose metal strapping. 18 inches. One end jagged. Pressed it to her thumb. Skin split. Blood welled. Tool. Weapon. Hope. She slid it under the scratchy wool blanket he'd left, stank of engine oil. Then she waited. Time melted. Thirst clawed first. Then hunger. But thirst hurt worse. She sipped every 90 minutes or so. Counted breaths to track it. 1,000. 2,000. She hummed old tunes from school. Voice cracked, hoarse. Scratching started outside. Slow. Metal on metal. Deliberate. She froze. Rats. Or him. Standing there. Listening. She held her breath till spots danced. Scratching stopped. She let it out in a shudder. Then boots on gravel. Heavy steps. Chain rattled. Door shook. She scrambled to the far wall. Pressed back. Bright light flooded in, hurt after all the dark. Tall silhouette. Hood up. Black mask over mouth and nose. He didn't come in. Just lobbed two things inside, fresh water bottle. Another protein bar. They rolled near her feet. He stared. She stared back, eyes stinging. Long silence. Then his voice, low, almost gentle. You look like her. Ellie's tongue stuck. Who? A quiet, cold chuckle. Your sister. Door slammed. Chain snapped shut. Darkness heavier than ever. Ellie sat frozen. She had no sister. Only child her whole life. The words echoed. Delirium. Mistaken identity. Sick wind-up. She crawled to the new supplies. Drank 2 tiny sips. Nibbled the smallest bit of bar. Then she got to work. Metal strip in hand. Found a seam where floor met wall, old caulking cracked. She dug. Scraped. Slow. Patient. Blisters popped. Blood smeared. Hours maybe. Arms screamed. A tiny gap opened. Sliver of grey daylight. Hope flared hot. She kept going till she couldn't lift her arms. Switched off light. Lay in black. Remembered first date with Jamie. Nervous coffee in town. He spilled sugar everywhere. They laughed till it hurt. Felt safe. Now the memory tasted sour. Second stretch, day 2 bleeding into 3. Distant voices through the steel. Blokes laughing. Tools clanking. Builders. She banged fists raw. Screamed till her throat felt shredded. Help. Please. I'm locked in. Voices paused. Then faded. Gone. Real or imagined, she couldn't tell. Despair sat heavy on her chest. Tears again. Silent now. Then rage. No. She refused. Picked up the metal strip. Found old rusty chain-link mesh near the bucket, cargo leftover. She sawed. Wire by wire. Blood made it slippy. Tore blanket strips, wrapped her hands. Kept sawing. Finally a hole big enough for her arm. She reached out. Fingers found the padlock chain. Thick. Cold. Rusty patches. She pulled. Twisted. Nothing. Pulled harder. Muscles burned. One link bent. Again. Sweat-stung cuts. One last desperate yank. Chain popped. Door shifted an inch. Fresh wet air rushed in, rain, earth, freedom. She shoved with her shoulder. Night. Stars sharp. Empty industrial yard. She stumbled out. Legs buckled. Ran anyway. Bare feet shredded on gravel. Ignored it. Squeezed through a gap in the chain-link fence. Into scrubby woods. Kept running. Lungs burning. Tripped on a root. Face in mud. Got up. Ran. Reached a narrow road. Headlights appeared. Car slowed. Old bloke at the wheel. Face went pale seeing her, wild hair, blood, no shoes, eyes too wide. You, all right, love? She collapsed against the bonnet. Sobbing. Help. Please. Police. He wrapped her in his coat. Got her in. Drove quick. Called 999. Sirens came like salvation. Hospital. Bright lights stung. Doctors prodded. Nurses asked soft questions. 4 in. Warm blankets. She drifted. Then the detective arrived. Tall woman. Gentle voice. Tired eyes. We found the container. Your blood on the floor. The notes. Ellie nodded weakly. Need you to describe him again. She did. Tall. Hood. Calm voice. Mask. Detective turned her phone. Showed a photo. Ellie stopped breathing. Jamie. Her Jamie. Pale. Red-eyed like he'd been crying for days. That's him, she whispered. Detective sighed slow. He reported you missing within hours. Went on local news. Cried. Begged for help finding you. Room spun. But CCTV caught his van near your office that night. Gloves in his bin, your blood type on them. Handwriting on the notes matched cards he'd written you. Ellie's voice broke. Why? Detective looked down. He thought you were seeing someone else. Months of paranoia. Misread texts. Saw you smile at a colleague too long. Built this whole fantasy. Never asked you. Just decided. I wasn't, Ellie breathed. I never. We know now. He planned 3 days. Thought if he terrified you enough, broke you enough, you'd never leave. Fear would keep you loyal forever. She stared at the white wall. He came back. Twice. To watch. To drop supplies. When you escaped he must have seen. He legged it. Motel 2 towns over. We nicked him this morning. Detective put a folded note on the bed. Jamie's handwriting. I only wanted her to stay. Thought 3 days would fix us. I broke everything instead. She's free now. I'm not. Ellie read it. Once. Twice. Tears smudged the ink. Not grief for him. Grief for who she used to be. For the trust she gave so freely. For the future stolen in 3 dark days. She looked at the detective. Were people actually looking? Everyone. Your family. Mates. Work lot. Him on every news bulletin playing the heartbroken fiancé. A short, broken laugh escaped. So the monster was the one everyone felt sorry for. Detective squeezed her hand once. You're safe now, Ellie. Safe. The word rang empty. Weeks later. She left Manchester. New flat somewhere quieter. Extra locks. Deadbolts. Chain on the door. Windows checked 3 times before bed. Therapy twice a week. She talked about the dark. The thirst. The moment she realized the voice belonged to the man she was going to marry. She told the full story once, small true crime podcast. Voice steady now. Darkness doesn't just hide things. It shows you things. I found out what I could do when no one was watching. I found rage. I found I could saw through metal with bloody hands till something gave. I found I'm stronger than the person who tried to break me. Messages flooded in. Women who'd escaped their own cages, some metal, most not. Controlling homes. Toxic relationships. Silent traps built from love gone wrong. Ellie read every one. She kept going. Not because she felt brave. Because stopping would mean he won. He took 3 days. He doesn't get the rest. Now when it rains she stays in. Listens to it hit the window. Hears her heartbeat. Still quick sometimes. But steady. Alive. Free. If you're listening to this right now, if you're in your own sort of darkness, whether a room, a relationship, a head that won't let go, listen. Breathe slow. Feel for the loose bit. The sharp edge. The weak link. It's there. Even when it all feels solid. Find it. Bleed if you have to. But break it. Get out. Because the worst shock isn't the door closing on you. It's realizing the hands that locked it might be the same ones that once held yours like it was precious. Stay careful. And if the walls ever start closing in, remember Ellie. She bled. She fought. She walked out. So can you.